Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I think we're live. Well, hello. Um, Monate here, and it's another Voice of the Rock. Super excited to be on here today. I think we're live. Yeah. So here we go. So Voice of the Rock today, and I've been having troubles with all my cameras and stuff. But yeah, I'm just gonna speak on rugby and rugby in the USA. So I moved here a few years ago. 5 years ago, almost six now. And I was just chasing my dream, to play professional rugby in America. And I've had like lots of ups and downs, to be honest. So I was in Virginia during COVID, and there was no rugby at all. There's nothing, there's nowhere we can play some touch or anything like that. But things opened up like in December. So this team, Richmond Lions, started having like touch, some touch sessions. So I went there, and people just love the game. People had missed it a lot, and they were like, finally, we're back to playing, and they were so happy to be here. So I could go in there, like Mama Susan could drive me all the way to Virginia, all the way to Richmond, which is the capital, I believe. And she would sit out in the cold. It was so cold, to be honest. I had like gloves on and all that. But this was just because I had the passion and I was chasing something that I really wanted, you know. So in one of the sessions we had, because they only practiced once, I believe, and it was Thursday, if I'm not wrong. And it was freezing cold. When I say freezing cold, I had gloves on, I had like three jackets on, and yeah, it used to be very brutal. So every time, like, I could play, I had like great understanding of the game, and I saw it. I felt like I understood the game more than a lot of them. And also like my skill set was like way above the roof too and all that. So this guy, Aaron Bull, I'll never forget. He was like, Munata, you play so well. I'm like, bro, this is just touch. You can't see a lot with touch. But I believe like people really do. With touch, people can really like understand, be like, okay, this guy understands the game more than a lot of people here. So Aaron Bull was like, yeah, Munate, I got connections with a team in New York that can take you and all that. And I was like, really, I would love to go play in New York. So because I really wanted to leave Virginia, because I came to play rugby. COVID happened, nothing is happening. But we believe like things are opening up. So when things opened up, I talked to him. He put me in contact with New York, and yeah, packed my stuff, and that's like the following year now, 2022. I packed my stuff to move to New York, and no, it's 2021 actually. Yeah, 2021. Packed my stuff, came to New York in March and all that. They gave me like a nice spot to stay, and yeah, we had like practice and all that stuff. Set up myself, gym, all this stuff. But some challenges were always there though. Like there were some players that I was living with in the house, and they were like hard headed, to be honest, because they were good players too. But when it came to like being a human being, like I can say like they were not like the best people to live with, you know. But at the same time, I was like, okay, I'm gonna try and make the best out of the situation. So I got to a point whereby um we got into like some chaos and stuff. Like this guy tried to fight me basically, and I was like, oh dang, this is not it. So I just told Murph, like, if this is the atmosphere here, I don't want to stay here. But they were like, it's okay, we'll handle it. And then the player actually had some issues, and there are things that had to be addressed, and they addressed it, and he got out of the team and he got some help that he needed. But for that, I was just peaceful playing, trying to take care of the house that I was in, and just trying to chase my goals still. So the reason why I came to New York was because if I came to New York, there was a New York professional team, Rugby New York Ironworkers were there, and I knew like if I play well, I'll be able to be seen. So I had to like take the opportunity and just go and ball out. So the first tournament we had was the spring season. And our first game, I believe, was against Nyack, New York Rugby Club, the men's version though. And I scored 5 tries, and they were like, wow, who's this kid? Everybody now is talking about me now. So I kept on the same tempo, and I kept playing well every single time. And finally, the professionals noticed me. After a good seventh run, we finished eighth though, but that was not that good. But we had a very good run to it because we won every single game in the Northeast. And then when we went ahead to like nationals, yeah, we lost in the quarterfinals, but people had already seen us. Now the fall is back now. We have a 15th season coming up. And I was called up to play with no, I was called up to play with the Tsunami Barbarians. the first time. Shout out to my sponsors. And then that was 2021. We finished, I think, the quarterfinals too, and came back for the fall season when the first two games balled out, played really well, and then injury struck. I tore my patella tendon, and what I'll tell you is like every single game that I was playing, we had the sponsors come to the games and all that from New York, and they were like, "We're going to sign you, Monate. You play well, keep it up." But as soon as I got hurt, I didn't hear nothing. I heard nothing from them, you know. And the injury was just, I didn't even know how it happened. Like it was so crazy how it happened, okay? Because I made a tackle, and then when I was making the tackle, my knee hit the ground, and I felt something so sharp. I was like, oh dang, I hope it's not that bad, because I got back up, got it taped, and then I finished the game. And then we went out that night. And then the following day when I woke up, I couldn't move my leg, because it had swollen. Must have been the adrenaline that I had that I didn't feel it like throughout like how you say throughout the night and throughout like the rest of the game. Because I got injured. I think it was the first half too. And then yeah, I did some scans and it was like, yep, you have a partially torn patella tendon. It was like halfway or like three-quarter maybe. I don't know. But they say it was bad though. But I had an opportunity to like either do some PT about it and heal up like that, or get a surgery done. So I said, no surgeries, I'll do PT. So it was some tough months though. Like I had just stopped talking to this person that I really loved and all that because I felt like I was so down. And yeah, it was just rough. I had no roommates. Um, I had no roommates for like the first month and all that. And then Quan came into my life like later though. One of my best friends, he came in 2021, um, later like November and stuff like that because we were trying to recruit him. He was playing for White Plains, such a very good player, and it was just hard to like not notice that about him, and it was just wonderful. So brought him into the house and all that, and then the player was just wonderful, because he was always like balling out. And when he came to the house, actually, it was more mental for me because I had someone to talk to, someone to like, always chat and all that. So it was like just a lot about it. So I was still recovering with my knee and all that. And I was doing my my Instagram skits, which I was like really struggling with at the moment because I could barely do anything because I couldn't move and all that. But when I could finally move, like I was finally like able to like start going to the gym again. The PT was really wonderful. Shout out to Motion PT. They got me back on my feet, and the game was really wonderful. Like I really loved it, and everything about it was just top notch. So I got back to playing probably it was 2022 March after my birthday and made my debut. Like my return was I think the 14th, I think, or like the second week of March, that is 2022. And started balling out again, wonderful. And through all this too, my paperwork was still, I was still trying to get like a legal status approved. Applied for the visa, it took like almost a year and a half. And I feel like everything was just lining up. So my recovery went well and I started playing again. And then after all that I went through, I got back to playing and the first game scored, started playing well. The coaches are seeing it. The professional team is like, wow, Monat is back playing. And they wanted to sign me, but I was still waiting on my social security to get there. And I didn't get my social security until like game two, after my return to playing, I got my social security. And as soon as I got it, the following day it was like, no, it was Saturday I got it. I got it on Friday, Saturday I played. On Monday, I got called up to go sign my first professional rugby contract. And I was so happy. To be honest, I was so happy. I didn't care like how much I'm getting paid. And the amount it was not it, but at the same time, I just wanted the opportunity. So I had to like just swallow up my pride, swallow up like, how much I feel like I should have been paid to like just taking what's there to build something for the future. Cause I was still 20, 23 years old that time. So I was really hopeful. I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this opportunity and do the best that I can with this. So with that opportunity, I just I just balled out, because some of the back rows, most of the back rows were injured that time for New York Ironworkers. And when I came in, my debut, I was man of the match. Um, then I just played like 6 games in a row and I was starting. And then the seventh game, I was subbed off and I was like, oh, something's going on. But I was like, okay, one of the best players is coming back. Brandon was coming back, and he's a senior player, and he really played well. Like he was one of the machines on the team, but he was unfortunately injured. That's how I got my debut. But I was like, okay, I still played. I still showed up. We made it to the playoffs. I didn't make the team, and then we lost the first round. But I had really played out. Like I really balled out really well, and I had like a lot of resume already, and the team was already negotiating my contract for the following 2, 3 years. I talked to Steve Lewis, and he was like, "Yeah, we want to sign you for like 2 or 3 more years here in New York." And I was like, "I would love that." So I saw the next money that came through was like, I was really satisfied with it, and I was like, "Yep, I'll take this." And I really um, didn't see it coming. Not a lot of people saw it coming, but New York crumbled. We just fell off, not falling off, but the sponsors just pulled out. Basically, so nobody was going to fund the team, and my hopes of playing professional rugby again just went down. So that just put me in a very bad situation because I was like putting all my eggs in one basket, saying this is all I wanted, and I want to play for New York now that they've given me this opportunity to play for like the next 2, 3 years. So I was happy. But then I got really sad real quick, because it was a short period whereby I was like at the top of the world, first Kenyan to be, playing professional rugby in the USA, and things just went downhill. So I was like sad now. So now I gotta look for another opportunity whereby one, I count as an international player in the USA. So it was hard for me to get an international spot because most of the teams were going for players that played like probably let's say that played in New Zealand, people that have international caps and all that. Those were the kind of players that they were getting. And I was like really sad about it. And I was like, okay, I don't know what to do next. All Blue the following year were not playing D1. So I was like, what's next? Um, Luckily, Austin Blacks reached out and I got like, some um they reached out to me from Austin Blacks and talked to me. They were like, "We want to sign you. We want to bring you up here. Just come and play for us for the spring season and have a run at the national championship." They previously had won, like they won it the year before, and they won it against All Blue, my team that is. And I was like, "Oh, will this be a betrayal?" So I was like, "I'll get back to you. Let me talk to the club first and see, how things will be." So I thought All Blue were gonna take it in a bad way, and I was like, this is tough. This is tough. So what am I supposed to do now? Like, I want to go because I understand like All Blue is not playing D1, and the best that I can do is just go and play a high level because I cannot. I did not qualify to play as a D2 player because of the previous games that I had in the fall of 2020, 2021, 2022 that is. And All Blue said, okay, fine, just go back and make sure you come back for the summer sevens. And I was like, yes. So packed my stuff, drove down to Virginia for Christmas, and then from Virginia straight down to Texas. Took me like over 24 hours to get there. Hectic ride, but I made it. Um, yeah, moved into this house. Was on South Congress, loved it, really beautiful, and I just got another opportunity to ball out at a higher level than what Old Blue was playing now, because Old Blue was playing D2 and D3. So I really appreciated the opportunity because I was on a better field of view now. Dallas Jackals were in Texas. We had Houston, and everybody could see me play. When I went to play in Houston, some of the Houston coaches were there. When I went to play in Dallas, the Dallas coaches were there watching and all that. And I was like, I'm still looking for more opportunities to play professionally, and it was just rough. And then Seattle Seawolves started getting injuries too, and some of my teammates went to play there. My best friend Daquan, we went to play there, and my coach too for All Blue now was playing for them too, and which I feel like that was another huge plus because when they reached out, they were like, "Who do you think might replace some of the injured player or some of the injured players?" Oh my god, it's just one of those days today because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling under the weather, but it is what it is. So I went to I reached out, Sam reached out to me, talked to him, say, be on a call, um, just be ready. Seattle might call you. So I was like, okay, no worries. And that time came to a period whereby we did not qualify for the Nationals with Austin Black. So I decided to move back to New York to prepare for the Summer Sevens, you know. So when I came to New York, the first night that I went out on Friday night, I got a call from my agent. And he was like, Monate, what are you doing right now? I said, oh, I'm outside with the boys. He's like, Seattle wants you. And Seattle wants to sign you. And I was like, okay, okay, okay. I'm listening. When do they want me there? He's like, they want you in Seattle on Monday. I was like, what? Yeah. So I just got to New York on Thursday, went out on Friday, and Saturday I get the call up. It was midnight actually, like Saturday morning, like 4 a.m. So I barely didn't spend more than 36 hours or more than 48 hours in New York. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna pack my stuff again because there was a lot of movement going on already. And I was like tired from all that. But I had to like quickly pack again and fly to Seattle. Flew to Seattle, realized like my dream was come true again, you know. And I was so happy, signed the contract and went straight to it. I was starting that weekend. Started 5 games in a row, sixth game, got subbed off, and I felt like the pattern was going on, you know, around again, and I was like sad about it. So yeah, that was a little bit rough, you know, because I saw it coming again the same way that happened in New York. You know, playoffs time, didn't get no play time at all, but I was still there, showing up to practice, making sure like the players that are going to play are well prepared. You know, so that's one thing to the new players or like to the younger players that are coming up into the professional level. Take that. Always show up, even if you know you're not playing. Always show up and give 100% to prepare the others too. You know, so I did that, and then it still went on being, you know, rough now because they're qualifying every time. I'm happy for them, but I really want to play, you know. But we made it to the finals. We lost, you know, we finished second. And yeah, it was just brutal from there. You know, they said, we're going to sign you again, Monate. We'll get in touch. But that was it. You know, that was it. That was the last professional game that I played. And it was just a little bit rough. So I just said, okay, no worries. I'll come back to New York, take a year off, and just work on some other stuff in my life. You know, make more money working, and actually, like, you know, um, just play for All Blue, and that's what I did. Went back, played sevens. We finished second in the country for 15s, third um, in sevens, Rugby Town. We finished third again, you know, and then the fall was not a good fall, but I had a great year. So that's just a journey for perseverance. Like I had to like just be short and sharp. I got a wedding to go to, and I hope if you just listen to all that, just know there's a lot more to come, and I had to be brief with this. So thank you so much for tuning in, and next time I'll have a guest on here, probably on the Zoom call again, but I'll connect it all. Um, yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. So appreciate you all so much, and stay blessed, and have a great weekend. Cheers.